Good evening. This is Ed Boston from edboston.com, and tonight I am doing a news recap of a story that quite honestly angers me to no end. It is, I've been furious ever since I read the first part of this story, and um, and that story, let me get to the Fox News story that I read. First off, titled VA Administrator Used Doll Photos to Mock Veterans' Mental Problems in Email. Now, let me go ahead and say this. This happened at the Indianapolis Roudebush Veterans Affairs Medical Center, which I happen to be using for my health care. A social worker at an Indianapolis Veterans Affairs Clinic was disciplined earlier this year after sending emails to colleagues that contained photos of an elf figurine posed to mock the mental health problems of combat veterans. Robin Paul, who manages the Roudebush Veteran Affairs Medical Center's Seamless Transition Integrated Care Clinic, on December 18th, sent an email with photos showing an elf pleading for Xanax and hanging himself with an electrical cord, according to the Indianapolis Star, which broke the story. A spokeswoman for the facility, Julie Webb, said the matter was dealt with in January, but declined to say what action, if any, was taken. Management was made aware of the situation a month and a half ago and addressed it at that time, Webb told Fox News. Ms. Paul apologized. She has helped to build the clinic up, and this was an error in judgment that does not reflect the Indianapolis Veterans Affairs commitment to providing quality health care for our veterans. I'm going to skip on to the apology. I would like to sincerely apologize for the email message, and I take full responsibility for this poor judgment, Paul wrote in an email. I have put my heart and soul into my work with veterans for many years. I hold all veterans and military personnel in the highest regard and am deeply remorseful for any hurt that this may have caused. I'll skip down now and read a couple of comments from people who are veterans. It is a slap in the face of our recent and past veterans suffering from mental health issues every single day, Ken Hilton, commander of the Indiana Department of the American Legion, told the newspaper, adding that Paul should be fired. Pete Hegseth, CEO of Concerned Veterans of America and a Fox News contributor, agreed. Now, let me just stop for just a second before I read what Pete said. I personally know Pete Hegseth. I have talked with him in person, on the phone. Pete Hegseth is probably one of the most knowledgeable military people I have ever met in my life, and would respect anything that comes out of his mouth because I know him that well. Pete said, while this shameful act may be an isolated incident, what's not isolated are the almost daily reports that feed the perception that VA leadership are detached from the urgent challenges facing returning veterans, Hegseth said. But it's even more troubling that Ms. Paul's shockingly poor judgment did not merit immediate firing. She should have been fired the minute such poor judgment was discovered, and failing to do so only reinforces VA's track record of failing to hold its employees accountable. Paul remains employed at the hospital and continues to manage the clinic, earning an annual salary of, get this, $79,916 a year, according to the Star. Why this lady still has a job working with veterans is just unacceptable. It is blatant, in your face. As a veteran who has not come back from a conflict like the ones that she manages, I'm appalled knowing that every single day the average is 22 veterans commit suicide. 22 every single day is what the average is. And she makes jokes about it. And she writes things like another one of her emails showed an elf next to a sticky note with the words, "Out of Xanax, please help." The caption read, "Self-medicating for mental health issues when a CNS would not give him his requested script." If I said the things I really wanted to say, I would have to make this an X-rated video, because I am so angered and outraged that this imbecile still has a job. Here's the deal. Let me go back to her apology. And why is it that people think that they can do whatever, say they're sorry, and that's the end of it? I understand the forgiveness part of life. She can be forgiven, but she has to have repercussions for her actions. And the repercussion for the actions of making fun of veterans that she has a job because of, that she has freedom to do such stupidity because those veterans fought for her right to do it. There are consequences for your actions, Robin Paul. I have put my heart and soul into my work for veterans for many years. Big deal. You should have thought of that before you sent out stupid emails. Yes, one mistake can ruin your career. I hold all veterans and military personnel in the highest regard. Horse crap. If you did, you wouldn't have sent those emails. And am deeply remorseful for any hurt this may be caused. Did somebody write that crap for you? Because a person that is remorseful would have said, I've done something really bad here. I'm going to resign. If the VA and the leadership at Rowdebush Hospital does not have the cojones to fire her, she ought to be decent enough to resign. For the resignation of the Secretary of the Veterans Affairs, McDonald. He's a coward lily liver. And guess what? McDonald, hey, listen to this. Took over. So when somebody asks you about this one, it's on your watch. I mean, I've got stories all over the place here. An average of 22 veteran suicides daily. They need our support now more than ever. Here's some of the headlines. I Google searched Robin Paul. Here's some of the headlines right now. Indiana VA manager Robin Paul suspended after email scandal. That was 7 hours ago. I don't know what's true and what's not true, because I also seen a story from where did it go here? Indy VA manager Robin Paul fired after emails mocking troops. I find no other source that says this. And sources that are closer than what that one is that says that she's just been suspended. Suspended? Are you kidding me? I want to bet something? I bet it's suspended with pay. I bet she's still making her $79,000 and setting her fat rear end at home, doing nothing and getting paid. Fox 59, 7 hours ago. Indianapolis VA supervisor put on administrative leave. Director calls email totally unacceptable. You think? And they knew about it in January, and she still has a job? How unacceptable was it? Really, how unacceptable was it if she still has a job? Let's see what else we got here. A manager at the Rowdy-Bush Veterans Hospital in Indianapolis appears to mock the mental health problems of return. Appears to? Appears to? The email obtained by the Indianapolis Star contains photographs. They've got the emails, they've got the photographs, and it appears to make fun. Now, like I said, I'm a veteran. I use Rowdy-Bush Hospital. Do I have to wonder now, do the workers at Rowdy-Bush Hospital sit around and make fun of us veterans after we go to our appointments? Is that what they do? And like I said, I'm not a returning veteran that faced combat, but I'm around returning veterans that face combat almost every day. And I know some of the things they go through. This woman has to go, and she has to go immediately. She can go work in the civilian sector. I ain't saying she has to die. I ain't saying she has to never get another job. I ain't saying she can't never be forgiven. She just has to quit working with veterans. And again, they said, the email is totally inappropriate and does not convey our commitment to veterans, a representative of Rowdy-Bush said. We apologize to our veterans and take suicide and mental health treatment seriously, striving to provide the highest quality. If you strove to provide the highest quality, Robin Paul would not have a job at Rowdy-Bush VA Medical Center or any other VA job in the world. Paul remains employed at the hospital and continues to manage the clinic, and these stories are crossing. You can tell this is an ongoing story. Again, her salary, $79,916. She received a $2,000 performance bonus in 2013, records show. More recent bonus information was not immediately available. You know, from the time they found these emails until the time that she is fired, somebody needs to pay that money back to you and I, the taxpayers. Because she shouldn't have made another penny off of us after what she did. One photo depicts an elf peering between the legs of a female doll, trying his skills as a primary care provider, doing a PAP. That's supposed to be funny? Really, that's supposed to be funny? In addition to the one where the elf commits suicide with a cord, and the one about out of Xanax, please help. Here's a little more graphic on the photograph about the hanging. A third photograph shows the elf hanging from a strand of Christmas lights, caught in the act of suicidal behavior, trying to hang himself from an electrical cord. That's quote, the email says. The spokesman for the hospital said she didn't know how many employees were involved. And if there's more that did the same thing, they need to go too. If they have to wipe out the entire unit and bring in new people, that needs to happen. As Pete Hegses said, the VA almost daily has some kind of egg on their face. The issue of veteran suicide is a personal one for Greg Kesling of Indianapolis. His 25-year-old son Chandler shot himself in Baghdad in 2009, 2 weeks into his second tour. You think suicide isn't a serious issue? Let's see, I think I've got a card here. Veterans Crisis Line. 1-800-273-8255. If you're in a crisis situation, you can call that number, press 1. Let me read. See, don't just apologize. Make a difference. If you're a veteran and you're in a crisis and you're thinking about suicide, 1-800-273-8255, press 1. Let's recognize the signs of a suicide risk. Thinking about hurting or killing yourself. Looking for ways to kill yourself. Talking about death, dying, or suicide. Self-destructive behavior, such as drug abuse, weapons, etc. The presence of these signs requires immediate attention. Hopelessness, feeling like there's no way out. Anxiety, agitation, sleeplessness, mood swings, feeling like there's no reason to live. Rage or anger, engaging in risky activities without thinking, increasing alcohol or drug use, withdrawing from family or friends. Call us if you experience any of these warning signs. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. I hope and pray that the people that answer these phones have more compassion for our veterans than Robin Paul. This is Ed Boston for the edboston.com. Go out and do the right thing.